What is up, people? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now it's been a long time since I made a video. Apologize for wearing a cap. But I just my hair is not. But anyways, it's been a long time since I made a video. I apologize for that. Obviously, we're at the World Cup. Just now it finished. I think last week. Yeah, last week. No, last week Sunday. That's when the World Cup concluded. Congratulations to Argentina, world champions. Messi, world champion. Julian Alvarez of Man City, world champion. So congratulations to Argentina. But yeah, guys, obviously, I didn't make any videos for the World Cup, but now the Premier League is coming back. Well, the Premier League is back. We just had the first round of fixtures starting on Boxing Day on the 26th of December. The first round of fixtures back from the break, from the World Cup break. So obviously that means I'm resuming videos as well. And I apologize for not previewing the games for Boxing Day, but I will just touch on the results that took place on Boxing Day, as well as on Tuesday the 27th and on Wednesday the 28th. Obviously on Wednesday the 28th only Man City was playing, but I think on Tuesday Man United and Chelsea were playing, and then on Monday on Boxing Day Liverpool were playing, as well as Tottenham. I think, yeah, Tottenham and yeah, Arsenal was the last fixture on Boxing Day. Yeah, Arsenal played as well. So I just want to touch on those results. And But before I go into the video, guys, also apologize for like my ring light. I don't know what's happening with my ring light, so it's kind of like facing down. So my phone is skewed a bit. So I apologize for that. But Before I go into the video, guys, I would like to ask you to keep subscribing to the channel, and keep supporting the channel, and keep pushing that like button and pushing the thumbs up button, and keep watching if the videos interest you, if you like my content. But yeah, guys, and also just push that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post a new video. But yeah, guys, man, I'm back, and I will be making videos from now on, because obviously it's full on. The Premier League season is back all the way up until the end of the season now. Because Yeah, we are basically about a quarter through the season, because we still played 15 games. There's still 23 games left of the season, so we're not halfway yet. But the fixtures are going to be coming thick and fast from now on. And For example, as a Man City fan, looking forward to this January. We have some tough fixtures. We're going to play Man United. We're going to play Chelsea this month. This upcoming month, like during January. So I think it's really going to be interesting. Arsenal as well have some tough fixtures. They're going to play Man United. They're going to play Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think they're going to play Newcastle, who are flying, by the way, because they are currently in the top three of the Premier League at this moment in time, only behind Man City and Arsenal. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a great second half of the season. And I'll just keep making videos as we go along with the fixtures. But yeah, guys, apologize for that long intro there. But I just want to look at the results of this of the match week that concluded yesterday with Man City at Leeds United. I'll start with the City results. Obviously, Man City won 3-1. It was I thought it was a decent performance. I thought in the first half there were a couple of times where I felt like we needed like Pep started with, like, our back four basically was Rico Lewis, Stones, Akanji, and Ake. Meaning Rico Lewis was playing as a right back, and we had three centre backs basically. So when we had the ball, Rico Lewis was joining the midfield, and we were playing a back three almost with Stones, Akanji, and Ake. And I thought that kind of limited us in terms of attacking on the left hand side. I thought Jack Grealish was isolated a bit on that left hand side. Why? Because he was the only one attacking on that side, because we didn't have an overlapping fullback. As a result, all the Leeds players on that side could just focus on Jack Grealish, and at times there were two, three players around him all the time, and therefore he couldn't do anything. So each and every time we took the ball to the left, we had to move it again to the right, because that's where the spaces were. And it was a bit difficult to kind of like find those spaces, because by the time the ball had gone to the right, Leeds were then back in their shape, and they were resolute again defending. And obviously we found the breakthrough through Rodri. Scoring on the stroke of half time. Brilliant counter attacking goal, because at that moment in time, Leeds United had attacked, and therefore there were spaces there were spaces basically between the Leeds United players, because a majority of their players had attacked, and as a result, we counter attacked swiftly, and we were then able to score that first goal, that crucial first goal. And the crowd goes down a bit after they score that first goal, and the belief of the players went up as well. And then second half, obviously poor goal from Leeds United's perspective to concede that second goal, because Liam Cooper, the Leeds United captain, just gives the ball away to Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish basically pounces on the error. He passes the ball to Haaland, and Haaland scores his 19th goal of the season. And then obviously the third goal, I thought it was a good goal that we scored. De Bruyne, the architect of the goal, basically getting the ball to Haaland, Haaland getting the ball to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish attracts two players to him, and then he just lays it off to Haaland, and Haaland scores. The game is dead, 3-0, and that's it, really. Leeds United are never going to get a result from then on. So I thought it was a decent performance. I thought it was an atrocious performance from us, Man City, in terms of finishing, because our finishing on the day was not good enough. In that game, even though it was a decent performance, and I wouldn't say like it was the best performance that we've had so far this season, but we should have at least scored 5 or 6 goals. Haaland probably could have had 5 goals if he was on it and he was sharp. He was sharper on the nut, and he actually said that as well. In his post-match press conference, that I actually should have scored 5 goals in that game, because of the number of chances that the amount of chances that I got. So I thought it was a good performance from the lads, a decent performance. First game back from the World Cup. Arsenal were currently top of the league before we played, 8 points clear of us. So we needed to win that game, because you don't want to you don't want the gap between you and the team that's leading the pack to be too big. It's still 5 points at this moment in time. That's nothing, basically. 5 points with 23 games to go. That's nothing. But you don't want that gap to increase. So therefore, we had to win yesterday. And Ellen Road is not a tough place to go to, because the stadium is always rocking. The fans are always back their team, and they cheer each and everything. Like, the Leeds United faithful, all they want from you is to just like put in the effort, just work hard, and just at least try. They don't want you to be a world beater and have quality and all of that. They just want you to try, and the Leeds United players do that. So the crowd is always bouncing there, and it was a decent performance. Just get the win, get the W on the board, and move on to the next fixture. Yeah, man, I thought it was a good win for us. Good performance from Jack Grealish, getting 2 assists. Um, Especially like, because in that first half, I know a lot of people were criticizing Jack Grealish in that first half, and I was critical of him as well. Not in a bad way. In fact, I wasn't critical of him, but I was just stating a fact in that he's a pretty average finisher, because the chances he had in that first half, you could argue like he was missing. He missed 2 sitters. There was one chance from Rico Lewis, the young fullback, put a cross in the box, and Jack Grealish basically made contact, and it was over the bar. And then the other chance, I forgot who it was who fizzed the ball into the box, and Jack Grealish, instead of going with his left foot, he goes with his right and hits the ball with the outside of his right foot. But then, because there's too much pace on the ball, and he hits it with basically the outside of his right foot, the ball goes up all the way into the Leeds United stands. So it was pretty, like, his finishing was pretty average yesterday. But in the second half, his performance was a lot better, and he basically he got 2 assists, and he played a massive role in us winning the game. Obviously, Haaland back with 2 goals, 20 goals for the season now for him in just 14 games. It's quite astonishing in that there were some people who were saying Erling Haaland was going to be a flop in the not some people, really, because I only know one person called Rory Jennings, who's also a YouTuber. But like there were a few people a bit skeptical with regards to how he's going to settle with Man City, and are Man City going to be able to play with him, because they were used to playing in a false nine and all of that stuff. And I think, excuse me, guys, excuse me. And then there were also some people comparing him to Darwin Nunes, and obviously I don't really like criticizing Darwin Nunes or whatever because I think like he's a decent player, but it was never like it was a bit disrespectful to Haaland to compare him with Darwin Nunes based on the body of work that Haaland has already achieved in his career so far. I thought it was a vintage performance from Haaland. Didn't really get involved in the game, but still scored 2 goals. Move on to the next fixture. Everton next, and I think we're playing at the Etihad if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check here. I have my laptop here, guys, so that's why I'm looking down here. I just want to check the next fixtures. I think we play Everton at the Etihad next. Yeah, we play Everton at the Etihad, and that's the next fixture that we have. And obviously we'll try and get the win there. Obviously, also paying attention to Arsenal's result at this moment in time because they are the ones we are competing with in the title race so far, as well as Newcastle. Even though Newcastle, I mean, I'm not sure about Newcastle with regards to like whether they're going to be able to sustain a title challenge towards the end, up until towards the back end of the season. But they have been very good so far. They have the best defensive record in the league at this moment in time with 8 clean sheets and only 11 goals conceded. So they have been brilliant so far this season, and rightfully so. They are in the title race at this moment, and at this moment in time. I'm not sure with regards to what they're going to do in the transfer window. We all know Newcastle can spend money because they have owners that have deep pockets, just like City, because they have Middle Eastern owners from Saudi Arabia, and because of their previous owner Mike Ashley, who basically was running the football club for pure profit. They can spend quite a lot of money in the transfer market and still not get in trouble with financial fair play because they've been a profitable football club for a number of years. I think for 10 straight years, Newcastle United were a profitable football club. Even though the Newcastle fans did not really like Mark Ashley because they felt like he was using the club and was not investing into the club, Mark Ashley kind of helped them a bit with this new ownership because now they can spend quite a lot of money without getting in trouble with financial fair play because they've been a profitable club for a number of years. So, brilliant start to the season so far from Newcastle, but a brilliant return to the Premier League for City, winning against Leeds United and Everton is the next fixture. I'll basically preview the games tomorrow. Like the games I'm going to be playing this upcoming weekend tomorrow. I just want to do a quick recap of the results from Boxing Day and then the 27th and the 28th in this video. And then the other result obviously was Liverpool versus thingy. Who were they playing? Aston Villa. Liverpool were playing Aston Villa at Villa Park. Again, another tough place to go to because when the Villa fans are on it, it's not an easy place to play at. So and actually I actually watched that game between Liverpool and Aston Villa, and Aston Villa, even though they lost 3-1, I think to perfectly sum up the game, like Liverpool were not brilliant, but they were clinical. So like every chance that Liverpool got, they took. And Villa were the opposite of that. They got a few chances, but they were not clinical. And Liverpool, as a result, ended up winning the game 3-1. Because in that game, like, when you look at the fact that the game was 3-1, you might say, well, Liverpool dominated Aston Villa and they blew them out of the waters and they won. But actually, in that game, there was a 15-20 minute period when Aston Villa were kind of like putting the pressure, piling on the pressure on Liverpool before Liverpool scored that third goal, and then they basically put the game to bed at that point in the game. But basically, Liverpool were just clinical on the day, and as a result, were able to win the game. Also, a milestone assist for Andy Robertson. I think at this moment in time, he is currently like in Premier League history, he's the defender with the most assists in the Premier League. Trent is actually not far off him because Trent is we all know Trent and what he can do with the ball in terms of the number of assists that he gives. But it was a milestone assist for Andy Robertson, and congratulations to him. Yeah, I thought it was decent performance from Liverpool. There were a few worries for them in terms of like there were a few times that Aston Villa got in behind them and created a chance. And on another day, if they were clinical, they probably should have gotten more in the game. maybe they should have nicked the draw, but because they were not clinical, Liverpool were clinical. Liverpool just won. So but I mean, Jurgen Klopp is not going to care about that really, because all you want after a long break, you just want to get back to winning ways, and that's what they did. You win the game, you get out of there, and you go into the next game. And obviously, Liverpool are in the hunt for top four at this moment in time, because it doesn't look like they will be in the title race because of how they've performed so far this season. And actually, good news for Liverpool fans in that they've signed Cody Gakpo from PSV Eindhoven from the Dutch league. Now, I can't really comment much on the Cody Gakpo signing for Liverpool because I don't really know. Like I've never watched him play for PSV. I know in the Eredivisie or in the Dutch league this season, he was the top goal scorer and he was the top assist maker. He had 9 goals, I think, so far in the season, and he had 12 assists, and both of those ranked first. So obviously that's a good thing. Um, However, it is in the Dutch league, which is not very competitive. So that's what I'm saying. I can't really comment on really in terms of like, is he going to be a brilliant signing for Liverpool? But Liverpool obviously have signed many players before that we actually didn't know of, and they've turned them into superstars. So the recruitment system at Liverpool is pretty good, and we obviously like I don't know how he's gonna turn out at Liverpool, but Jurgen Klopp is pretty good at improving players, and they didn't really sign him for a lot of money. They only signed him for 37 million. So really, you could like I mean I know 37 million pounds is quite a lot of money to us like normal people, but in football terms, in terms of transfers, it's not a lot. Like I mean, 80 million is a lot, 100 million is a lot, 110 million, 150 million is a lot, but like 30 million, 35 million, 40 million, that's not much. Like in terms of football terms at this moment in time with regards to like the inflation in the transfer market and all of that. So I think it's a good signing for Liverpool because I think Luis Diaz is out again. I think he had an injury setback. You remember he got injured before the World Cup, and then he had an injury setback, and he's going to be back towards the end of February, I think, or early March. And that's a huge blow for Liverpool because that means he's going to miss quite a lot of games, and he's also probably going to miss the round of 16 fixture against Real Madrid. Because if you remember the Champions League draw, Liverpool were drawn against Real Madrid in the round of 16. I'm actually looking forward to that tie. Obviously, the Champions League is going to be back in February. So I think it's a good signing for Liverpool, and it was a good result for them against Aston Villa. Not in terms of like brilliant performance, but in terms of getting the win. Back from the coming back from the World Cup and just putting that W on the board and moving on to the next fixture. And then I'll just move on to the next fixture, which was Man United versus Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Nottingham Forest are primed for relegation this season because they're newly promoted side, and obviously Man United are expected to beat Nottingham Forest simply because they have better players than them. I did not actually watch the game between Man United and Nottingham Forest. Not because I'm a hater or whatever, because I'm a City fan. I'm probably like I'm not. You see, I didn't grow up in England or whatever. I know like City fans who grew up in England, especially the old ones, who took a lot of crap from Man United fans growing up because their team was shit. Like their team being Man City, because Man City was playing in the second division and Man United was competing for the Champions League and the Premier League, and there was always like a bit of banter from Man United fans towards Man City fans, and that's why Man City fans hate Man United fans and hate Man United so much, because it's so sweet for them. It's so good for them to have to see their football club doing great, and to see Man United not doing as well as Man City at this moment in time. But basically, I didn't watch the game, but I did hear that Casemiro really had a brilliant performance, like breaking up play, also got an assist. Um, and I also hear some people saying Casemiro is now the best defensive midfielder in the world. I don't agree with that. I think Rodri is the best defensive midfielder in the world, not because I'm a City fan, but because like he's been pretty consistent with regards to his performances, and he's been putting top performances for a sustainable period of time in the Premier League. And yeah, I just think because of that, and I think Rodri is more talented on the ball than Casemiro. I know Casemiro is quite good with the ball, but I think Rodri gives you more. I think Rodri offers a goal threat as well, better than Casemiro. And I think in terms of like the whole breaking up play and being a defensive midfielder. I wouldn't say the other is better, is significantly better than the other. I think they both top quality, but I think Rodri just gives you that much more in like he gives you a bit more on the ball than Casemiro. That's just my opinion on it. Most people feel that way, even people who are not City fans. But obviously, you can have your opinion. It's not really like it's a game of opinion. So if you feel like Casemiro is the best defensive midfielder in the world, there's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer Rodri. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a City fan, but quite a lot of people agree with me. So and a lot of people who are not City fans. So I thought it was a good win for Man United. Get back to winning ways. Obviously, Man United and the hunt for top four at this moment in time. I thought it was a good performance from Rashford as well because he scored. And it's great to see Marcus Rashford. Like in the past 2 seasons, Rashford has seemed a bit like disinterested, a bit disengaged. It didn't look like he was enjoying playing football. It didn't look like he wanted to play football. It just his mind was not in the game, and his stats were poor as a result of that. So it's good for him that he's back and he's scoring and it looks like he has his confidence back. So yeah, good for him. I like Rashford. He's a nice lad. He also like he's philanthropic as well. Like he has like a project where he feeds the poor in Manchester, like the kids who come from families that are poor and the kids that would go to bed hungry if Rashford was not there, because I think he basically created this thing where he feeds the poor and all of that great stuff from him giving back to the community. And the reason why like I've seen a Rashford interview on this, and he was basically saying the reason why he did that was because he grew up in that situation. So it's great for him to give back to the community and all of that stuff because he's made it in life, and he's a footballer and he's earning quite a lot of money. So good for him, man. And then obviously let's talk about Arsenal. Bit disrespectful to talk about Man United before I talk about Arsenal. Arsenal are top of the league, and they have been the best team so far this season. Even though we're not really far off them. I say we because I'm a City fan. We only 5 points off Arsenal, but they have played really well this season. I did actually watch their game against West Ham. I thought it was a great goal from Nketiah. The turn, like he basically like Tilo Kehrer, who is the West Ham centre back, was basically staying tight to him, and Nketiah just like he basically it was a great turn from him, which opened up the space to score the goal for him. Also a goal for Saka and a goal for Martinelli. Many people would argue that it was a poor goal from West Ham's point of view to concede the second goal from Martinelli because the keeper gets beaten in his near post, which is not really like that's not good enough really. And I mean like he should be close, like he should be saving that in my opinion. But nevertheless, Arsenal obviously scored. They actually went behind. So they went behind in the game because West Ham were leading 1-0. So it was actually a great character from Arsenal to basically come back and win the game 3-1. And watching that game, I never felt like West Ham were gonna win the game because West Ham were trying as much as they could to stop Arsenal. But when you're playing a top team and you're playing a team with quality players with talented footballers, you can only do so much to stop them until they find a way to score. Basically, like you can be disciplined, you can have a flawless performance, but when they keep piling on the pressure and you don't have the ball for long periods of time, you will lose concentration at one crucial moment, and they'll pounce on you when you lose that concentration at that crucial moment. And that's what Arsenal did in that game. As soon as West Ham lost a bit of concentration, they pounced on them and they were back in the game. So it was a good win for Arsenal, and obviously they stay top of the league, 5 points clear at the top. And it's been a great start to Arsenal season so far, because they have 40 points from a possible 45. They've only dropped 5 points so far this season, which is pretty good from their point of view. So yeah, man, I think it's been a good start to Arsenal's season. It remains to be seen whether they'll be able to continue that rich vein of form. I can't actually wait to play Arsenal because I'm interested to see how we're going to do against them. I think we're personally going to beat them. Obviously, I'm going to think that because I'm a City fan, but same thing with Arsenal fans that they would think they're going to beat us. So, but we still have to play Arsenal twice this season. I think the first fixture we're going to play against them is in February, so I can't wait for that fixture. So yeah, man, I think I'm really looking forward to playing Arsenal. And yeah, I'm interested to see how in terms of how we're going to do in that game. So yeah, it was a good win for them against West Ham, win in the London derby. I mean, West Ham didn't really deserve to win in that game because all they were trying to do really was to try and stop Arsenal from playing. And as I've already said, you can only do so much to stop a quality of like you can only do so much to stop quality opposition from scoring against you. Like if you're gonna constantly keep trying to stop them and not offer them and not give them anything to worry about, they will eventually score against you, which is what Arsenal did and ended up winning the game 3-1. So good performance from Arsenal and a good win for them against West Ham. And then the other game was obviously the Chelsea game versus Bournemouth. Chelsea won 2-0 against Bournemouth. Um, Again, I didn't really watch this game. I know Mason Mount and Kai Havertz scored. I know also Reece James got injured, which is basically bad news for Chelsea, bad news for me as well in my FPL team because Reece James does give quite a lot of points in the FPL team, Fantasy Premier League, for those of you that don't know. But I thought, I just think the most important thing coming back from a World Cup is to just win, and that's what Chelsea did. And Graham Potter obviously has had kind of like a mixed start to his Chelsea career. Started off really well, and then had that period where I think he lost 2 games in a row, or he lost 3 games in a row. I'm not quite sure. But obviously they're back to winning ways now, and I think Chelsea are in the hunt for top four this season. I just want to look at the Premier League table here. They are currently eighth in the Premier League, 24 points from 15 games, and they are 6 points off the top four, even though Tottenham have played a game more than them. So Tottenham have a game in hand on Chelsea, and then basically, yeah, Chelsea have thingy. Yeah, they have 24 points from a possible 15. Is this correct? Yeah, let me just refresh this. Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, man, I was just looking at a graphic here. Like basically, if you look here, this is the Premier League table. I'm not sure if you can see. So I was looking at this graphic here, the one that basically shows the form guide. But now I was looking at it in the wrong way, so that's why I was a bit confused. I was looking at it from right to left instead of from left to right. So that's why I was a bit confused. But yeah, Chelsea have 24 points from a possible 45. And they are currently 6 points off the top four. They obviously in the hunt for top four. And yeah, man, it was a good win for them against Bournemouth. They should beat Bournemouth, really. I mean, if you're in the hunt for top four, you should beat Bournemouth because they are relegation candidates. So they did what they were supposed to do, win against Bournemouth, and move on to the next fixture. And as I said, I didn't really watch this game, so I'm not quite sure in terms of like how I can comment on it because I didn't really watch it. Apologize, Chelsea fans. I don't hate you, but I didn't find the time to watch the game. And then the other fixture was the Spurs one, the Tottenham one versus Brentford. I did actually watch this one. It was actually a brilliant game. Brentford taking a 2-0 lead. Ivan Toney and who else scored? It was a very poor goal to concede from Spurs' point of view, the Ivan Toney goal, because it starts from Eric Dyer making a schoolboy error and conceding the corner that basically ended up leading to the Toney goal. But it was also poor defending from the corner itself because Toney he just basically stands there and he just goes towards the ball, and the Spurs players just don't show enough desire to get to the ball, and Tony scores. And then that's only when Spurs actually started playing and they ended up scoring 2 goals. I don't actually know why Spurs keep doing that. Like every time they play, it almost seems like they want the opposition to score first before they start playing. Like at 0-0, they're going to give the opposition all the space, they're going to give them the ball, and they're not going to show any interest really in terms of attacking. And as soon as the opposition scores 1 or 2 goals, they're going to start playing. And I think that's a pretty bad habit to have. Yes, it's good to come back from a 2-0 deficit because it shows that you've got great mentality, but you can't keep doing that all the time. Like, that's just not sustainable because if you're playing a good team and you do that, you're going to lose the game. Like how they did against Liverpool because they gave Liverpool a 2-0 lead and they lost the game. Even though they basically scored 1 goal and ended up losing the game 2-1. You simply can't keep giving teams a head start before you start actually playing. And that's what Spurs are currently doing at this moment in time. They're giving the opposition a head start before they actually start playing. That's what they did against Brentford. And Brentford basically took a 2-0 lead. And it was a good performance from Brentford. But then it was a good response from Spurs coming back and scoring those 2 goals. It was a great header from Harry Kane. It was a great header. And it was a good goal from Højbjerg as well. Great composure under pressure, and he slots the ball in the back of the net. Obviously, Antonio Conte, as I said, I don't actually know what Spurs are trying to do. Like, I don't know whether they're a side that defend because they can't defend. They concede goals every game they play, but they also don't attack. So I don't know what they are. Like, are they a team that's going to be robust and defend? No. Are they a team that's going to attack? No. And the reason I say they're not a team that's going to be robust and defend because they're not robust and they can't defend. They give goals away every single time they play. So I don't really know what they are, if I'm being perfectly honest. And obviously I think they're currently fifth at this moment in time with 30 points from 15 games, which is not bad because they're only 3 points off Arsenal. They're only 5 points off Man City. So it's not. When you look at their points tally, it's not bad. But when you look at their performances, it is pretty bad. So I don't know. Like, I just think it's not sustainable to keep getting good results if you keep playing badly. Like, you can play bad and get good results for like 5 games in a season, but you can't consistently play bad and still get good results. It's just not sustainable. It's never going to happen. So I think they have to vastly improve if they are to make that top four, which is their goal this season. Yeah, so there's a good comeback from them, but they can't keep doing that. It's simply not sustainable to keep going behind in order for you to start actually playing. And I'll obviously I've covered all the teams now, guys. I've covered Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool. Maybe we should start adding Newcastle to the mix in terms of top six because they are knocking on the door. But another thing I want to talk about, I heard some fans talking a lot of rubbish about Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, I'm a City fan, and I'm obviously going to defend Kevin De Bruyne because he's our best player. And I hear this narrative that Kevin De Bruyne is not a world-class player because he didn't play well for Belgium, which is absolute nonsense, by the way. Because you can't, because you haven't played well for your country, not be classified as a world-class individual, like as a world-class player. You can't tell me that. Yeah, check your wallet. I'm sorry for that, guys. My brothers just wanted something from here. But basically, I was saying you can't because someone has performed, has not performed for their country. You can't then label that person as being not world class. I think that's BS in my opinion. And I'll give you a few examples. Like, you cannot tell me that Erling Haaland is not world class because his country did not qualify for the World Cup and he didn't play in the World Cup. Like, the perfect comparison I'll give you is Julian Alvarez, who plays for Man City, and Erling Haaland, who plays for Man City. Julian Alvarez is a World Cup champion because he won the World Cup with Argentina and he had 4 goals in the World Cup. Great performance in the World Cup. Erling Haaland did not qualify for the World Cup with Norway and did not go to the World Cup. Are you now all of a sudden going to say, because Julian Alvarez had a good tournament in the World Cup, he's world class and Erling Haaland is not world class? That's nonsense. We all know that. We all know that that's nonsense. It's BS. It's nonsense. And the reason I don't actually like putting too much stock on international tournaments and all of that in terms of ranking players, because yes, you can be a very good player, But if your country is shit, then you're not gonna do anything. I'm sorry for swearing, but like if your country is not good enough, you can only do so much, no matter how great you are. Like Kylian Mbappe has won the World Cup, but let's not act like Kylian Mbappe won the World Cup because of himself. Kylian Mbappe won the World Cup because he's playing for France, and France is a great team. France is stacked. Like the French national team roster, like France were able to reach a World Cup final without having Benzema, Pogba, and Kante in their team. Two, three players that many people would class as being world class. And again, on the whole Kevin De Bruyne thing not being world class because he did not have a good tournament in the World Cup. Karim Benzema has never had a good tournament for France because he was banned from the French national team for quite a substantial amount of time because I think he tried to blackmail his teammates or whatever. I think there's a guy called Mathieu Valbuena who used to play for the French national team. Benzema was blackmailing him because of a sex tape or something. I don't really remember that story. But Benzema has never really had a good tournament because he's never been in a tournament for France. You can't say Karim Benzema is not in the top five strikers in the world at this moment in time. You can't say he's not world class because of the body of work that he's done in his career. So I'm sorry, but you can't give me the nonsense that Kevin De Bruyne is not world class because he did not perform for Belgium. I get it. He did not perform for Belgium. I'm not defending him for that. But you can't then say he's not world class because of that. Because actually, like in 2018, behind Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne was the best player that Belgium had in the World Cup. And they went to the semi-finals and they finished third, which is a good performance because the only two teams that were better than them were Croatia and France. And France eventually won the World Cup. And Croatia finished as runners-up. So I just like it baffles me that some people are gonna speak the nonsense that Kevin De Bruyne is not world class because he did not play well for Belgium. It just baffles me. It's just absolute nonsense in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's nonsense if I'm being perfectly honest. And then another thing I want to talk about is the GOAT debate. I know like quite a lot of fans like on social media and stuff like that. After Messi won the World Cup, Messi is the GOAT. Ronaldo is not the GOAT. Ronaldo can't be the GOAT. He's never won a World Cup and all of that stuff. Now, look, in terms of pure footballing ability, it's not a debate. Messi is better than Ronaldo. Like, let's not debate. Let's not be foolish here. Messi is like when you watch Messi, he's easy on the eye. He's a natural gifted footballer. The way he glides across the football pitch with the football, it's just like it's just beautiful to watch. And like you can't really debate who's better between Ronaldo and Messi as a football player. Messi can score goals, he can make goals. Ronaldo can score goals, but he can't make goals. Messi can run a football match. Messi can take a game by the scruff of the neck and run a football game because he's a creative player. Like Messi is like he's one of one. Like he can score, he can assist, he can dribble past players, he can do it all basically. So in terms of pure natural footballing ability, we can't debate who's better between Messi and Ronaldo. In terms of their careers, Ronaldo fans, I think, are entitled to saying Messi is better than Ronaldo. I think Messi fans are entitled to think that Messi is better than Ronaldo. As I've already said, I do not like to put too much stock on what a player has won, especially for their country, because different national teams have different qualities. So, like, Portugal and Argentina are two different football teams. And that, like, I think Argentina, because of the coaching, I think that Argentina coach is quite brilliant because he recognized the fact that he has Messi who is 35, so you can't expect Messi to be working hard and running like a headless chicken. But in Messi, he has a player that can change a game with one pass or with one like movement because he can create a goal out of nothing. So he basically assembled a team around Messi that's going to do all the donkey work for him, that's going to do all the hard work, so that Messi just has to do the hardest part, which is to score the goals and take them to the promised land. And it worked to a perfection, and they won the World Cup. Portugal, on the other hand, their coach was benching Ronaldo for his own reasons, obviously, but he benched Ronaldo. He played a young kid, that kid Ramos, ended up losing to Morocco and got knocked out of the World Cup. So I just think, depending on your circumstance, like basically, it's your circumstance that's going to determine whether you win a World Cup or a European Championship or like those kinds of things. So for me, I like to focus more on what a player has achieved for the football clubs he's played for, because we can't really debate the fact that Messi and Ronaldo both have played for some brilliant football clubs. Man United, Real Madrid, Juventus. Those are the clubs that Ronaldo has played for. Brilliant football clubs, because he actually played for Man United when they were still winning. Not the Man United now that can't win, but he played for a Man United team that were winning. Played for a Real Madrid team that won 3 Champions League titles in a row. And he played for Juventus, who basically not good. Like, they were obviously dominating Serie A because they were the only good team in Serie A. And Messi played for a brilliant Barcelona team, and he won 4 Champions Leagues with that Barcelona team. And he's also playing for PSG now. So I think you can do a better job comparing the two in terms of their club careers instead of their international careers. But you can obviously have your debate. Personally, in terms of my personal preference, I would take Messi just for the pure simple fact that he's just a brilliant football player and is a better football player than Ronaldo. He can just do more on the football pitch than what Ronaldo can do. But obviously, Ronaldo fans are going to take Ronaldo because they absolutely love Ronaldo. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. So, yeah, guys, that's my opinion on it. In terms of who's the GOAT, as I said, I would prefer Messi because I think Messi just gives you more than what Ronaldo gives you. But I don't blame people who are going to say Ronaldo, because Ronaldo has had a brilliant football career. I don't care whether his World Cup was bad or whatever, or he left Man United in bad terms or whatever. He has had a brilliant football career and is a footballing legend. He's a football legend, and no one can take that away from him. So that's just my opinion on it, guys. If you have any comments, guys, please comment on the comment section down below. Please get involved and comment on the comment section down below. Please, guys, continue to subscribe to the channel and keep supporting the channel. Also, please push the thumbs up button to like the video. Also, please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Please continue to keep supporting the channel, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you for watching the video, and yeah, man, I'll see you on the next one.